Morning. We'll let you know how long this cool weather stretch is going to last coming up. Your news starts right now.
The fear is, am I going to be next?
It's the question on the minds of many Caterpillar employees after Big Yellow announces more layoffs in central Illinois.
Plus, search teams found a body near Spring Lake. What led them to the discovery?
And first at 5, we are keeping an eye on Caterpillar.
Just a few hours ago, Big Yellow announced more than 200 more layoffs right here in the heart of Illinois. It's tonight's top story at 5.
WMBD's Marvis Herring joins us live from the East Peoria campus, where workers will feel those cuts. Marvis, how long until these layoffs take effect?
Paul, we received the announcement today that 230 workers will be laid off indefinitely, but those cuts, they begin in just 12 days. Now, we're told that everyone cut from this East Peoria campus over here received that announcement, but they won't all have to leave at once. Caterpillar officials tell WMBD News that the reductions begin on October 12th, but will take place over, quote, a period of time. I spoke to the president of the local union that represents Cat workers. He says even when Big Yellow announced its new headquarters, market conditions weren't promising, and they've only gotten worse. After more than 40 years in the business, he hasn't seen this many consecutive layoffs since the 80s.
People were being laid off by the thousands, and they just left the area. They had to. There wasn't any jobs around the Peoria area. They just left wherever they could find a job and went there to survive.
Now, Caterpillar officials say these cuts are in response to poor market conditions. Now, coming up at 6, hear more from union officials about what they have to say about today's announcements. But for now, live in East Peoria, Marvis Herring, back to you.
Thanks, Marvis. New details in a developing story we've been following all day. Rescue crews searched through the night before finding a body near Spring Lake this morning. WMBD's Hannah Hilliard was the first one on the scene today. She joins us now in studio with more. Hannah?
Well, Paul, it happened here near Spring Lake, near the corner of Spring Lake and Woodley Roads. That's where they found a body in the drainage canal. Rescue crews were first called out around 7 last night when someone noticed a vehicle next to the area. This morning, we saw crews from Tazewell County Sheriff's Department, Manitou Police, and Foreman Fire trying to locate the vehicle's owner. But because they were not able to locate that person, they called in the Peoria dive team, who found the body around noon. The Tazewell County coroner says the man's death appears to be an accident, and he was most likely fishing in the area. Now, the coroner also says they have not released the man's identity yet because they are still working on contacting all of the victim's family. Evelyn.
Thanks, Hannah. A Peoria man and his dog safely escaped a burning home this morning. It happened in the 1200 block, of North Maplewood. That's located near the campus of Bradley University. The call came in just before 8:26 a.m. and fire officials say neighbors being credited with telling the owner to get out.
The resident stated that he went to the bathroom and heard a crackling sound. About that time, neighbor went and knocked on his door, got him out, said, hey, your attic's on fire.
Fire crews tell WMBD the fire was contained to the attic, but the home sustained significant water damage. Fire investigators are trying to determine a cause. In a story we're following for you, a Peoria Heights man is now charged with the death of his 10-month-old son. Darius Walker Jr. was indicted on aggravated domestic battery. His son, Aiden McKinley, died at OSF St. Francis Medical Center September 10th from blunt trauma injuries to the head. Investigators say a vehicle had dropped little Aiden off at OSF August 31st, but no one stayed to talk with doctors. They traced the vehicle back to his father's apartment in Peoria Heights. Walker has a $50,000 bond. If convicted, he faces anywhere from 6 to 30 years in prison.
It's the curtain call for a popular tradition in central Illinois. Conklin's Dinner Theater in Goodfield is closing its doors after nearly 40 years. The storm earlier this summer damaged the barn. Now it's considered structurally unsafe. Owner says she's tried to fix it, but her insurance won't help pay for it. She says she's even tried to move the business to Morton, but money remains a factor. The last show at the barn was back on August 16th. In a story from our Capitol newsroom, it's harvest season, but we're not talking pumpkins or corn. Medical marijuana cultivation centers in central Illinois are preparing for a harvest in just a few weeks. WMBD's Emily Fannin shows us how the largest site in Pike County is getting ready.
Each facility was purpose-built as the most advanced cultivation facilities in the world. This is just one of the two 75,000 square foot cultivation centers in central Illinois owned and operated by Revolution Enterprises. This one is located in the cornfields of Berry and Pike County. And from the looks on the outside, you wouldn't expect to see what goes on behind closed doors.
The capabilities technologically and scientifically within these facilities is unheard of in the industry.
Every product inside is tested by an independent laboratory to test its purity, strength, and quality. McGraw says his goal is to change how the way cannabis is administered and distributed. Rooms like this are filled with cannabis plants. They'll be ready for harvest in less than 30 days.
Much larger harvest will happen in the beginning of December. And then by January, I'd say almost all of our products, or most of our products, will be available to patients.
McGraw says it's about helping those who need it most. In a few weeks, the Medical Cannabis Advisory Board will suggest more conditions like PTSD to be added to the list.
It's very unfortunate for them. We're looking at about 22 suicides per day from returning veterans, and I think that most Americans are not aware of that number.
McGraw has studied the success marijuana can bring to not only the community, but to the state as a whole.
Drug abuse goes down. Opiate overdose deaths have gone down 25% in Colorado. Crime goes down. Liquor sales go down. It's a tsunami of good.
As the final touches are put on the $20 million building, plants are still harvesting and coming to dispensary doors soon.
Construction at the Berry Cultivation Center will be complete in about 3 weeks. Revolution Enterprises is looking to hire about 140 employees.
Well, District 150 passed its 2016 budget Monday with an $8 million deficit. Superintendent Dr. Karat says that reducing the deficit has been one of her top priorities since she took the position. She adds that the operating budget has been reduced significantly by about $4 million. Karat says one way they've tightened up is by changing purchasing policies. They now have a system of checks and balances in place for getting expenses approved by the board. She also points to collaboration with the mayor and the community in the future. She doesn't want it to fall on the backs of schools and students.
For the most part, we will work with what we have and we'll make those adjustments. I do want us to make sure that our kids are exposed to the very, very best quality and infrastructure.
District 150 Treasurer Mark Wilcoxon's last day is Friday. He'll be replaced by Dr. William Phillips and Eric Bush. Now, Karat says they both have an extensive background in school finance. She adds that they'll be part-time employees, so it won't cost the district extra money. They'll hold a meeting Thursday afternoon to discuss that transition.
Cases of the mumps in McLean County are down, at least for now. The health department is following 42 cases of the virus throughout the county, 28 of them confirmed. Today, fewer people are coming into the office for tests, and there have been fewer reports of people with symptoms within the last week. But that doesn't mean they're done fighting it. Officials say they expect another increase of the virus next week, after the incubation period from the first strain ends. Russia begins airstrikes on Syria, but the United States still questions who the country is targeting. But first, Chris.
Well, cooler temperatures have moved in, and they could be here to stay. Coming up, we'll break down just how long this cool weather stretch is going to last. All that coming up after the break.
You're watching WMBD News at 5 in high definition with Paul Ciacchini, Evelyn Wilkerson, and Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates with your local weather authority forecast. This is WMBD News at 5. Central Illinois proud.
It was a teacher that first captured his imagination.
The imagination of a teenage boy to explore.
Having heard stories and Indian legends, he was the first to run the rapids through the canyon country down the Colorado.
They were voyages of scientific discovery to chart the last unknown river in the American West.
Inspired by a teacher, John Wesley Powell changed our view of America
to one of preservation of water and resources.
Saluting the spirit of excellence, we are Renewal by Anderson.
Honda knows just because you're looking for a utility vehicle doesn't always mean you're looking for adventure. You might just be looking for a coffee table. That's why our vehicles come with smartly designed interiors and technology to adapt to just about anything. It's more than just utility. It's modern utility. Nothing compares to a Honda. KBB.com's best value brand.
When attorneys in Central Illinois named Doc Halliday to the top 5% of the state's personal injury lawyers, it gave recognition to his 30 years of work in that field. If you are injured in an accident or at work, Doc has the expertise and experience to make sure you get the best outcome possible for your claim. Call or stop by the Doc Halliday Law Office in Junction City. There is never a charge to discuss your claim.
For Columbus Day, we have 4 years no interest on all GE Profile appliances, all LG TVs, all furniture, all mattresses, all clearance items, so thousands of items throughout the store. Now you can get the whole kitchen or the whole set of furniture without taking a big hit to your bank account. It's the ideal time to come in and get all that stuff you've been looking for. When you have 4 years no interest, you can spend $2,400 and you're only actually paying $50 a month. You can spend $4,800 and you're only paying $100 a month. 4 years no interest at Sherman's is today through Monday, October 12th.
WMBD News brought to you by Batteries Plus Bulbs.
When you're looking for the one store you can trust to have the exact battery you need right when you need it, whether it's for your car, riding mower, motorcycle, laptop, smartphone, watch, plus light bulbs for lamps, floodlights, can lights, appliances, all topped off by helpful experts, it's easy to see why nobody else stacks up to Batteries Plus Bulbs. Did I mention we also repair smartphones? Batteries Plus Bulbs. Trust the plus. Visit Batteries Plus Bulbs today.
The Storm Tracker Skycam Network, brought to you by Parker Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. Now, your local weather authority, WMBD's chief meteorologist, Chris Yates.
Welcome back. It has been a beautiful day across central Illinois. And how about this? In uptown Normal, the leaves just now beginning to change a little bit. We'll expect that to peak here in the next couple of weeks. Temperature-wise, 66 degrees, certainly feeling a lot like fall. Winds a bit breezy out of the northeast at 22 miles per hour in Bloomington Normal. Pontiac, your winds out of the northeast at 16. Winds a little bit lighter here in Peoria. They are blowing at 13 out of the northeast. And winds gradually in the 10 to 15 mile per hour range as we go through tonight. But temperature-wise, it has been a very comfortable day across central Illinois and across much of the Midwest, where most of us currently are in the 60s. Minneapolis, though, kind of a sign of things that are going to be heading our way. They're currently in the upper 50s. Storm Tracker does keep us pretty quiet for now, but there's some activity going on in the Caribbean. This is a story that you're going to be hearing about over the next couple of days, depending on how Hurricane Joaquin tracks over at least through Friday and into the weekend, because by early next week, Joaquin, which is now a Category 1 hurricane with winds sustained at 85 miles per hour, could be targeting the mid-Atlantic states. So that's something we'll be keeping an eye on. There's also a chance it drifts back out to sea. A bit of a split there in the model, so something we're going to be watching. For us, no split whatsoever in our model solutions. High pressure is here to stay for a while. It's a nice cool air mass. With that will come a bit of a breeze as well. Temperatures, though, are only going to get a bit cooler as we go forward in time. As for tonight, temperatures down into the 50s by 10 o'clock. So if you're heading out for dinner, you may want to bring that light coat with you. And if you're going to be out early tomorrow, Kewanee and Galesburg down into the lower 40s. Peoria a little bit warmer at 47. Bloomington Normal 44. And Lincoln at 45. Tomorrow, much like today, temperatures will be perhaps a few degrees cooler. We'll see some lake effect cloud cover coming in from the northeast, but overall mostly sunny skies. Temperature-wise into the 60s, and again a little cooler compared to today. A high of 66 in Peoria, 64 in Galesburg, 65 in the Twin Cities. Lincoln also cooling off to 67. But let's ship you off to the southwest here. Galesburg, 64 degrees. Temperatures do warm up a little bit as you get towards Beardstown and Mason City, where we could be at least flirting with the lower 70s. But overall, you're getting a nice fall taste of weather here. And look how long this stretch of weather is going to be sticking around. I'll step out of the way here. Temperatures only getting cooler as we head into the weekend. Partly cloudy skies, high temperatures around 63 degrees. Overnight temperatures look to fall down into the 40s. Now, one thing has certainly changed a little bit. That is, we're going to be looking at more cloud cover pushing in Saturday night. So instead of temperatures really bottoming out into the low 40s, with the additional cloud cover, it'll act as a blanket. Temperatures could actually warm up back into the mid to upper 40s, so not quite as cold as it could be with an air mass like we're seeing.
But it's fall. I don't mind.
It is fall.
It's fall. We need a little cool in the fall.
I agree.
That's about the nicest way I think anybody's ever talked about the 40s.
I'm sure I saw a picture on the internet of people's pools already covered up. I bet that would make you cry, wouldn't it, Paul?
Yeah, I'll
Sad
pass.
day.
All right, thanks, Chris. A woman is put to death in Georgia. We're going to tell you who called for her life to be spared.
the Bloomington City Council is brainstorming ways to cut down on their budget deficit. I'm Shane Gustafson, and all of that story coming up.
Keep your family safe with Kidda products from Menards. October is Fire Prevention Month. A 2-pack of battery-operated smoke alarms is just $4.99 each after rebate. A general use fire extinguisher only $9.99 after rebate. All stock First Alert home security products are on sale. This 2-camera 4-channel kit lets you view your home from your smartphone or tablet and includes 2 indoor-outdoor cameras and a 500-gigabyte hard drive. Only $249.
Save big money at Menards.
A pitcher who can paint the corners is known as a Rembrandt. At GMC, we get why people love that kind of precision. After all, that's exactly what we deliver. This is precision. This is GMC. Now pay no interest for 5 years, plus get $3,000 purchase cash on select 2015 Sierra Crew Cab SLT models in stock the longest.
See your Central Illinois GMC dealer.
For Columbus Day, we have 4 years no interest on all GE Profile appliances, all LG TVs, all furniture, all mattresses, all clearance items, so thousands of items throughout the store. Now you can get the whole kitchen or the whole set of furniture without taking a big hit to your bank account. It's the ideal time to come in and get all that stuff you've been looking for. When you have 4 years no interest, you can spend $2,400 and you're only actually paying $50 a month. You can spend $4,800 and you're only paying $100 a month. 4 years no interest at Sherman's is today through Monday, October 12th.
Aloha! I'm Maria Chandler, inviting WMBD viewers to join me on a tour of the Hawaiian Islands, March 15th through the 24th. We'll spend 3 nights on Honolulu near famous Waikiki Beach, 2 nights on the Garden Isle of Kauai, and 3 nights on Ka'anapali Beach in Maui. We'll also enjoy a thrilling luau with Polynesian music and dance. For more information, call Holiday Vacations at 1-800-826-2266.
The Academy of Okinawan Karate, I think, is an outstanding school that teaches discipline, dramatically improves self-confidence and physical fitness. So what I like best about the Academy of Okinawan Karate is the way they build leadership. They instill a self-confidence in the children here that allows them to lead not just their peers, but even children that are older than them.
And all the teachers give the kids good techniques and a good learning experience.
Mention you saw this ad and get your uniform free when you enroll.
Dillman Brothers join WMBD and WYZZ in saluting educators across Central Illinois and the students who use that education to follow their dreams. It's the spirit of excellence.
Fall has arrived at the Garlic Press in Uptown Normal with the rich colors and aromas of the season. Our fall clothing collection wraps you in soft fabrics, warm colors, and the fit is just right. Time for fall baking, and use quality ingredients like our European Belcolade baking chocolate that will put your brownies over the top. We have castor sugar for meringues and espresso salt for hot chocolate. Don't miss our annual fall open house and pie contest on October 17th. The Garlic Press, for gifts, food, and so much more, all through our blue back door.
You're watching WMBD News at 5.
Russia gives the U.S. and its partners a 1-hour heads up before bombing began in Syria. Questions remain about who the Russians are targeting, though. Craig Boswell has more and the U.S. reaction from the White House.
Russian jets could be seen in the skies over Syria, dropping bombs for the first time. Russia laid out its case for the airstrikes at the UN Wednesday morning.
We're referring here exclusively to operation of the Russian Air Force to carry out strikes against ISIL positions in Syria.
But Russian jets hit targets near Homs, Syria, an area not currently controlled by ISIS.
We must not and will not be confused in our fight against ISIL with support for Assad.
The White House is concerned Russia will use the airstrikes in Syria to not only fight ISIS, but to prop up Bashar al-Assad, who the U.S. considers a dictator.
Russia will not succeed in imposing a military solution on Syria any more than the United States was successful in imposing a military solution on Iraq a decade ago.
On the Senate floor Wednesday morning, Senator John McCain says Assad is the reason ISIS is as strong as it is, and he blamed President Obama for keeping Assad in office.
The president has said for years, that Assad must go, but he has done nothing that has brought us any closer to achieving that outcome.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says his forces are in Syria at President Assad's request. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
President Putin sat down with CBS News for an interview with 60 Minutes and said his country supports the Assad regime because he considers it to be the legitimately elected government. The U.S., of course, disputes that claim. A Syrian rebel commander says the U.S. has made major strategic mistakes in its program to train Syrian fighters to battle Islamic State militants. When the first group of 54 American-trained fighters entered Syria in July, several of them were captured by Islamic militants. Colonel Mustafa claims he gave the U.S. the names of more than 1,200 fighters, but only 100 were accepted. The commander of a second group of 70 fighters admits he gave half of his American weapons to an al-Qaeda Syrian affiliate. America's problem has always been not knowing who to trust. The program to train and equip Syrian fighters was supposed to solve that issue. Instead, some U.S. weapons have ended up in the hands of terrorists.
The state of Georgia executed a woman overnight for the first time in 70 years. People rallied outside the prison calling for Kelly Gissendaner's life to be spared. She spent 18 years in prison for plotting the murder of her husband. Back in 1997, Greg Owen, the man who carried out the murder, took a deal from prosecutors to testify against Gissendaner. He was sentenced to life in prison but is still eligible for parole in 2022. And earlier Tuesday, a letter on behalf of Pope Francis was presented to the Georgia Board of Pardons and Paroles, asking them to appeal Gissendaner's execution.
Please be assured of my prayers as you consider this request by Pope Francis for what I believe would be a just act of clemency.
The document referenced the speech he made before Congress condemning the death penalty. Well, the clock is ticking to the deadline for stores to have card reader terminals to keep your information safe. Why some stores aren't ready for that mandate.
Ready?
Oil change, then tire place, then brake shop.
See you next week.
Taking care of your car shouldn't take over your life. From oil to repairs, Meineke's your one-stop shop. Come in now for a basic oil change for just $14.95. Meineke, on with life.
Green Ford has done it again. If I haven't said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Nobody beats a Green Ford deal, especially with deals like this. Up to $4,000 off the Focus and the Fusion. Up to $5,000 off the Transit and the Edge. Up to $6,000 off the Escapes and the Explorers. Up to $8,000 off the Taurus and the Transit Connects. Up to $9,000 off the F-150 and up to $11,500 off the Super Duties. You gotta go to Green. Open 24/7 at greenfordstore.com.
Avantis is tradition since 1966.
Avanti's Gondola, ham, hard salami, American cheese, and lettuce on Peoria's favorite bread.
Go to AvantisPeoria.com to find your Avantis.
Live the good life here at Goods Furniture in Kewanee, Illinois. Goods Furniture has a wide selection of furniture for every room in your home at prices to fit every budget. We look forward to seeing you at Goods Furniture in Kewanee, Illinois.
It was a teacher that first captured his imagination.
The imagination of a teenage boy to explore.
Having heard stories and Indian legends, he was the first to run the rapids through the canyon country down the Colorado.
They were voyages of scientific discovery to chart the last unknown river in the American West.
Inspired by a teacher, John Wesley Powell changed our view of America
to one of preservation of water and resources.
Saluting the spirit of excellence, we are Renewal by Anderson.
Ready?
Oil change, then tire place, then brake shop.
See you next week.
Taking care of your car shouldn't take over your life. From oil to repairs, Meineke's your one-stop shop. Come in now for a basic oil change for just $14.95. Meineke, on with life.
When you want to buy a pre-owned car, you want selection and you want price. Fred, what do we got for selection?
Selection? How about a gigantic inventory?
Oh, how about an enormous inventory?
Mega-sized, I'd call it.
I love that. And then we're going to need some low prices. What do you got for that?
$99 a month for a pre-owned car.
I like that. What about new?
$147 for a new cruise lease.
All right. Well, do you still get the Green's Goods package?
On every car.
Every car gets the $9.95 oil changes, the car washes, and so much more. You got to go green.
Here's what you can see tonight on WMBD, Central Illinois Proud. You're watching WMBD News at 5.
Thursday is the day stores are supposed to have terminals that can read the new computer chip credit cards.
But Kenneth Craig reports that many stores don't have them and many consumers have yet to receive the new cards.
At this New Jersey Target store, Ingrid Gonzalez is getting the hang of her new credit card.
And I have to use the chip, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, you have to, leave it there.
They're called EMV cards and have a built-in computer chip for added security. Instead of swiping, customers have to dip them into these new terminals.
With the other one, you swipe it so quickly. With this one, you have to put the card, wait a little until it tells you that you can remove it.
The chip creates a unique code for every transaction and doesn't transmit personal information. That's supposed to protect consumers from a data breach like the one Target saw in 2013, because the info is worthless to hackers.
You have to go straight in the chip in the front.
Visa and MasterCard have set Thursday as the deadline for stores to have the new terminals or face new consequences.
They will bear the liability in case of credit card fraud, and that's a big shift because in the past, banks have borne most of that liability. So that's obviously a big deal for merchants.
But a recent poll finds only 27% of retailers have the new, more expensive card processors. And another survey says 64% of card users have not received the new chip cards yet. Eric Brown recently got his in the mail.
These being more secure, I think, is reassuring.
Consumers who haven't received the chip cards can still swipe and won't be responsible for any fraudulent charges. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
CreditCards.com believes most people will receive the new chip cards by the end of the year.
Visa and MasterCard have set the fraud liability deadline for October 1st. American Express will shift liability to stores October 16th. Don't go anywhere. Chris has a last look at the forecast after the break.
Whew, that was close. Come on!
Uh-oh, better get Maaco. For a limited time, take advantage of Maaco's $179 bumper special. Maaco, America's Body Shop.
Just one call.
One call to help put your life back in order.
One call.
One call for family law and criminal defense.
One call is all it takes.
Call the Borsberry Law Office today for a free consultation.
The Honda for You sales event is happening now, and you could get a great deal on a 2015 Honda Civic. Our best Civic yet was named a KBB.com Best Buy and is the best-selling car in its class. The Civic is also loaded with standard features. So hurry into your Honda dealer today, and you could get a great deal on a 2015 Civic during the Honda for You sales event.
Now I can't wait to open the curtain and see my new tub and shower. Deciding to use Bathfitter was the smartest decision we ever made. Bathfitter custom molds an acrylic tub that fits right over the existing one. And there's a matching wall unit, all in about a day. This is so nice. I can't believe we did all this for about a third of the cost of a new bathroom and only a fraction of the hassle.
Bathfitter, we're the perfect fit.
This Columbus Day, discover the incredible savings at your Ashley Furniture home stores in Champaign, Peoria, and Bloomington. Save up to 20% off store-wide or get 5 years no interest. Discover amazing deals on living rooms and dining rooms. Explore the savings on beautiful bedrooms or upgrade your mattress during our King for a Queen event, where you can take home a new king mattress for the price of a queen. Hurry, these savings won't last long. Exclusively at your Ashley home stores in Champaign, Peoria, and Bloomington.
With Extreme, every screen in your home is a TV screen. Plus, you can watch recorded shows on the go with TiVo. And with the fastest in-home Wi-Fi and speeds up to 150 meg, Extreme was made for multi-streaming. Extreme with internet, TV, and phone starts at just $29.99 each a month for 1 year. For details, plus to get free Stars, Encore, Showtime, and more, call 844-4EXTREME.
Liberty Village provides therapy for seniors following an injury or illness. Our Bounce Back rehabilitation services help alleviate pain, restore function, and improve mobility. Bounce Back at Liberty Village. Rehab, recover, and return home.
Whew, that was close. Come on!
Uh-oh, better get Maaco. For a limited time, take advantage of Maaco's $179 bumper special. Maaco, America's Body Shop.
There's a difference in the morning. Try us and see for yourself.
Clay Gordon, weekdays on WMBD News This Morning and WMBD News at noon. You're watching WMBD News at 5.
it's going to get a little cool tonight, I guess.
Yeah,
Cool
we have
off
this,
a
and that's
little
just
bit.
going to keep on going. Fall is here, and
Yes, I
no
love
sign
it.
of that going anywhere anytime
Good.
soon. 47 degrees, clear skies, cool and breezy tonight. Winds will drop to about 5 to 15 miles per hour. For tomorrow, temperatures back in the 60s. That 69 is a typo, by the way, because we're actually going to be a little bit cooler than that. But nonetheless, winds out of the northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. 66 will be the temperature tomorrow. Breezy through the end of the week, perhaps even carrying over into the weekend. Now, we are going to see more cloud cover Saturday night and Sunday. That will keep temperatures overnight from getting bone chilling, but still cool into the 40s.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for joining us.
WMBD News is available on air, online, and on the go. You can head over to our website, ciproud.com.
You can also get the latest news on our app for your phone or tablet. We'll see you right back here at 6.